How we doing, fellas? You guys kept asking me for my camera settings on the previous video. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly suggest you do, but I created basically a Souls-like camera style that I'm using for my warrior currently as I level through Guild Wars 2, and I just kind of wanted to share those with you and explain sort of how the camera settings work in this game. They're a little bit odd. If you come into your settings, go to options and then general options and scroll down, these are the exact settings I'm running if you want to copy them. My suggestions are to run action camera as well, because it makes life a whole lot easier, and on action camera I normally play on the second zoom. Now if you want to go all the way in, you can by all means, but it will make some world bosses and that sort of thing a little bit more difficult to do, so zoom out as is necessary. Action camera can be found in the controls options, down in camera, and you'll find toggle action camera. I have a button on my mouse to do it, so I can toggle it off and on at any point without much hindrance. This is also going to be required to do inventory management and what have you. So yeah, I would highly suggest using that. Obviously, it's not going to be the greatest. Some people say action camera sucks, but whatever. So with this, the rotation speed is going to be how fast your camera turns. This is affected by action camera as well. Your DPI will also have an adjusted setting on that. Horizontal position will be whether you want it on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side. I personally prefer right, since that's where my character's greatsword sits. The vertical position, near and far. This adjusts where your height cursor is, of whether your camera's higher up or lower down on your character, which is a little bit weird to adjust, especially if you're playing like Azurans or Norns like I am, because obviously my character's taller than most, so that will have an effect on where you want to position it for yourself. Collision sensitivity, I honestly have no idea what that is, but it may negatively impact performance. It sounds fun. Just the camera's ability to ignore collisions with objects. That could be very useful on the right-hand side. I'll experiment around with that a little bit more. And zoom sensitivity is not really an issue. And field of view, I would put roughly in the middle. You can play on like Quake Pro levels, but I found that playing on really high FOV, especially in MMOs, will sort of distort the graphics quite heavily, as well as just distort my sort of feeling of immersion if I'm playing on way too high field of view. So yeah, that is my camera settings. You'll see a little bit of gameplay running relatively soon, showcasing this in combat. Thank you guys for watching, and I highly suggest you take a look at my other video on Guild Wars 2. Also, I have another one in the works. It's going to take me a little while, but I promise you, it's going to be a banger. Take care.
Adrenaline rising. Might makes me right.